Hi everyone, good evening. So I'm here for the 10 weeks of Yukta Heart project as usual 6 p.m. and today I'm going to talk about a special lentil which is called Horsegram. Just for a quick revision, we discussed a variety of lentils, what are the ways in which we can have them, how to choose the correct timings, how to make use of them and all of those things yesterday. So it makes sense if you can go there and check that video. And today specifically I wanted to speak about this one lentil, almost like a continuation of yesterday, and that is Horsegram. Just in our back on the Instagram page, we have put up a reel which shows how you can make Horsegram laddus. So this dal, this lentil which is called Horsegram, and how you can make actually a laddu out of this dal. So there's a recipe reel which I've just put in our back. So I will really suggest that you go back and look at that reel so that you at least know what this Horsegram or this dal looks like. So that is one thing. The other thing is its name. So Horsegram is the name in English, and like I already received one comment on the recipe reel, someone saying that, oh, I've never heard about this dal. So that is why I thought I'll just, because a lot of people don't know about this dal, and very surprisingly, the thing is that this dal is so prevalent that almost every language, every Indian language, there is a name for it. For example, when we say Horsegram, it's in English, but in Hindi it's called Kulthi, and there are so many names for it, right? So it's called Kulthi, it's called Kulit, I think it's called in Marathi. Then there is Kodu, which is called in Tamil, if I'm not mistaken, and Gahat is definitely, it's a Pahari name. So if you go towards Uttarakhand and stuff, they will serve you Gahat ke paranthe, they will serve you Gahat ke dal. So many things actually you can make out of this dal. It's really versatile, and of course it's again Kulit in Gujarati. So if you see there is a name for it even in Odia language, in Malayali, in all the Indian languages, which shows that if we have name for this dal in almost all the Indian languages, then it's, of course, it's just obvious that it is quite prevalent in our regional cuisines. It's just that we are not aware of it. We just like to stick to our 4-5 dals, and we have just kind of been unaware of it, and that is why I wanted to bring this discussion. Number one is that this dal has a lot of health benefits. So to be a little this thing is going off track from the nutrition part, but also like in Ayurveda, again there is a therapy where they use this Horsegram dal, this Kulthi dal, in a certain way. Of course they have their own way of preparing it, but they make a paste out of it, and with that paste they actually rub a person's body, almost like a body massage. And this is actually done to make a person lose weight. This is one of the therapy that is done in Ayurveda, and the thing is simply because it's not just ki hum isko internally, when we consume it, it's going to give us weight loss, of course, but also applying it on the skin is going to give weight loss. So that is how the logic behind this whole therapy or massage or whatever you call it. They have a specific name also for this massage, which is Udvarthanam in Ayurveda. So basically I just wanted to give you a glimpse of how important this dal is, how how the different ways in which ancient people have been using it for so many benefits. Of course weight loss is just one of them. Like Tulsi just wrote here right now while I'm doing the live that it is even popular for getting rid of kidney stones, which of course is correct. So there are weight loss benefits, there are removal of kidney stones benefit. It also helps in regulating blood sugar levels, it helps in lowering cholesterols, people with hormonal imbalances related to your periods, in those things. It is actually has multi benefits and multi-purpose, and actually a very long list of benefits. It's also very rich in protein, so all the people who really want to eat a lot of protein, again it's something very rich in protein. It has good amount of fiber, which you do not get in a non-veg food, but this here you are getting protein along with fiber. and it's good source of food for microbes, of course. So it's a good prebiotic, so your microbes are also happy when you're eating it. It has good iron levels, calcium, antioxidants, so many things, so many benefits in just one single item, in just one single ingredient. And the way we can use it is, of course, as I said, there are so many recipes. If you just Google, like we shared one laddu recipe today evening, but there is you can make paranthe, as I said, in Uttarakhand they make gahat ke paranthe. You can make dal out of it, of course. Many ways of using horse gram. A lot of people even mix horse gram and buttermilk in somewhere in Maharashtra, and they make it like a nice drink also out of it. So many ways of using it. But I wanted to basically talk about the nature, the heating and the cooling effect of this lentil, and how we can actually tweak it. What are the timings, what are the good timings of having it, what are the things jiske combination ke saath agar hum isko khaएं तो it is going to benefit us. So number one thing is that horse gram जो है as a lentil, it is extremely heating. इसमें बहुत body को warm करता है. That is why it is also a very go-to food for people who are living in the colder regions, like who are living up in the mountains, or who are living in places where there's like extreme cold, because it really keeps your body warm. It is something which is very heating. So when you are eating something which is very heating, then of course it's fine if you eat it in any way when the weather outside is cold. So आप दिल्ली में रहते हो, या आप मुंबई में रहते हो, या आप कैलकाटा में रहते हो, आप जहाँ भी रहते हो, आपका वेदर अगर बाहर का वेदर अगर ठंडा है, like good cold weather outside, then you can of course have your heating lentils and all of these things. It's not something that you have to be very careful about. But when we are, say, in a weather which is neither too cold nor too hot, like a moderate thing, or if it is hot, if it's like summer, if it's hot, then of course we need to use them with caution. We cannot just use them randomly, because then we are just going to do more harm than good. तो अभी क्या करने का? Are we supposed to not eat them in the summer season or in the monsoons or other moderate kind of weathers when we have? Are we not supposed to eat them? Of course you can eat them, and that is where all these grandma's wisdom comes to play, where they have listed out ways in which you can have your heating lentils, in which you can have the heating foods, but after combining them with the ones which are cooling. So here the thing is कि horse gram को जब भी आप एक moderate weather में खाते हैं या summer season में खाते हैं, you should combine them with things which are cooling, because then what happens is the cooling agents will come, they will mix up with the horse gram, and they will neutralize its heating effect in a way that it is not going to cause you any harm. So what are these cooling agents? These cooling agents are, number one, of course, the cooling millets. So if you have read my book, Yuktahar, the Belly and Brain Diet, then there in the book in chapter 5, I have given a complete table of millets. And in that table, you will see that I have categorically mentioned that there are certain millets which are heating in nature, there are certain millets which are cooling in nature. Now, because this is a dal, of course, the simplest way of having it is making a dal out of it. जैसे हम घर में दाल बनाते हैं, and then we have it either with a rice or roti or bhakri. So of course that's the simplest way of consuming it. So if you are making a dal out of it, and then you suppose have it with, say, a nachni bhakri, then nachni, which is ragi or a finger millet, by whichever name you recognize, that itself is a heating millet. So now what you have done is that you have combined a heating millet with a heating dal, and that's fine if you're still, like, say somewhere in December, January, and you're up in the north of India where it's really cold, then it's fine. But if you're like making, combining a heating millet like a ragi bhakri, and then having it with a horse gram dal, say in the month of April, it's not a good idea, because then it's like combining two very heating stuff. So then what you got to do is that you need to combine the horse gram dal with cooling millets. Now which are the cooling millets? The cooling millets, as listed in the book, is little millet, proso millet. So these are the cooling millets. Or you can even combine it with jawar, because jawar is a neutral millet. Jawar is neither comes into the category of heating nor in the category of cooling. So you can either have it with a jawar bhakri, or you can have it with little millet rice. So you can make a little millet rice, you can make proso millet rice. How do you make these millet rices is something that we have again shared in one of our recipe reels. So you can go back to our page, see a reel where we have, explained how you make these millet rice. So you can make either the little millet, proso millet rice, or a jawar roti or a bhakri, whatever you call it, and then mix it with your horsegram dal, and that will work really well on a sunny afternoon. So this is one way of doing it. The other way are, of course, getting more cooling agents into place. And what are all of these cooling agents? So ghee is an absolute cooling agent. Buttermilk is again a very, very good cooling agent, and I'm talking about only the things that we are having in phase 2. So buttermilk is something that you have in phase 2. Ghee is, of course, something that you have been having since phase 1. So there's ghee, there's buttermilk, there's coconut, moong dal. All of these things are actually, they work as cooling agents in the body, and these are the things that you can combine your kulthi dal or horsegram with. Like for example, in the recipe also that we have shared with you of the laddu, we are mixing it with ghee. We are not being very we are being very generous with the ghee in the recipe, only to see that the heating effect of horsegram is neutralized to some extent. Of course, we are in February and it's not all that hot right now. But if you are really wanting to have this laddu or the horsegram in any way, in say in the April month, May month, June month, then these are the things that you can mix up with. You can even have a lunch of say your jawar roti and dal, and then have a glass of buttermilk along with it, because together they are going to bring about all those cooling effects and help you digest it better. The moment you start digesting these things better, you will start absorbing and assimilating all these nutrients, and therefore all the good effects that are supposed to come, you will be able to enjoy those good benefits. So just to revise, the cooling agents are ghee, moong dal, buttermilk, coconut, and of course the cooling millets. So this is it. Now again, whenever we choose to eat our food, it's not always about the nature of food. Like what I spoke about is the guna and the nature of the horsegram, but we also alongside look at our own personal constitution, कि हमारा खुद का body कैसा है, how are things within us, how do we react to things. And when it comes to things like horsegram, which is particularly heating, then we need to ensure कि हम अगर हमारे body में पित्ता dominant nature है, हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि हमारे body में पित्ता dominant nature है? By symptoms. And what are these symptoms? These symptoms are basically symptoms जो heat related हैं. For example, if your skin is very prone to having heat boils, or you have frequent heavy prolonged menstrual cycles, or if you have ulcers is also a sign of heat in the body, or if you have hyperacidity, heartburn, all of these are signs, or even piles for that matter. So all of these are signs of extra heat in the body. In Ayurveda language, they call it pitta, having too much of pitta in the body. So if you already have too much heat in the body, then of course you should be using all of these heating stuff with caution. And here, what is the caution that you can exercise is that firstly, such heating lentils should not be had in the summer season or whenever it's hot, because the way the climate is changing, it becomes difficult to even just call summer season, because there are times when even during Decembers we are really having a hot day. So I would say, instead of really talking about seasons, you can see what kind of day it is. If it's really a hot day, then I will say that such pitta dominant people should not have any of these heating lentils. So on a hot day, avoid having heating lentils like horsegram. And of course, on cooler days, on cooler months or cooler days or colder days, colder months, you should have, and you can have these heating lentils like a horsegram and kulthi or kulith or whatever you call it. But ensure that you mix them up, you play around with these cooling agents, you put ghee, buttermilk, mix them up with moong dal, make a soup out of it. There are many people, many clients of mine who mix horsegram and moong dal and make a soup out of it. So that is something that you can do. You can mix them up with cooling agents, because then the heating effect of Horsegram gets neutralized, and then even though you have extra heat in your body in the form of, say, a pitta dominance, it's really not going to harm you. So this is something that I wanted to explain so that we can make use of this wonder lentil, make use of this wonder dal, and still, not harm ourselves in any way, and still feel extremely healthy and reap all the kinds of benefits from it. So if there are any questions regarding this live, regarding this video, then do post them in the comments. Thank you so much.